Right, folks, this is the review of the Persuasive Speaking COM plan. I do want you to fill everything out that you see in this box. What is your goal? Is it to shape thinking or is it to shape action? Now, I'm going to want to see you address you shaping action first and foremost, because you can't measure if somebody thinks different or not, right? We want to measure like action and try to move people to action, because thinking, like I can think about anything, doesn't mean I'm gonna do anything, right? We want to think about shaping action first and foremost. You don't want just people think about things, you want people to do things, right? Next off, you want to talk about if you're arguing a question of fact, of value, of policy, right? Which one of those three things? So check, circle, bold, whichever one you feel like you're arguing for. Also, I'm going to want you to answer the question of what is a counterpoint to my thesis? In other words, someone could argue the opposite by persuading the listeners to. So I give you an example here because I've had people have a hard time with this. You need to delete this example unless you're doing a speech about socialism, right? So here is, what could someone say against your idea? And how are you thinking about what someone might say in opposition to what you're arguing for, right? So show me that you're considering the other point of view and the other side of the coin. During my speech, I think my audience is going to be, so circle one, open and receptive. They're going to be indifferent. They're going to be uninformed, or they're going to be closed, right? And because of this, give me 3 different strategies that you're hoping to do that will help connect to the audience based on whether they're open or uninformed or closed, okay? Next thing I need to see you do is how you're going to get your audience attention. What is going to be that attention getter? How are you going to connect with them, and how is that on point with what you have to say? Show me how you're going to establish your credibility. What are you going to do to establish credibility? Remember, you need to talk about your research as well as your speechcraft here in some way, shape, or form, as well as any experience that you might have with this topic or idea. How are you going to make your audience care with your common ground statement, right? What is your listener-centered thesis? Like, what is the idea? What is it? How does it affect the audience? And what are we hoping to get the audience to do? Give me full sentence ideas of the main body points of your speech. So give me a sense of what this is and in full sentences. I need to see how you're going to use an organizational pattern with this. Is this going to be reasons why you should blah, blah, blah? Or is it going to be ways how you can address the issue of blah, blah, blah? Or is it going to be, here's the problem, here's the solution? So give me a sense of if it's going to be reasons why, ways how, or problem solution. Now, you don't need to worry about the visuals here. So this right here, you don't need to do anything with that stuff because you're not going to be making slides for this. I do need you to address ethos, right? How are you going to use credibility outside of just citing your sources to show that you are a credible speaker, right? It's not just that you did your research. It could be about your personal experience with something. It could talk about how polished you are and when you speak about this and how confident you sound. Also, I want you to talk about how you're using pathos. Again, I don't care if, like, I want you to use pathos. How are we going to use some emotional appeals in this to hopefully get us to move? Then restate your thesis, restate your main points, and then give me that sense of what your listener-centered takeaway to-do idea is that is a clincher. I also need to see in APA format your research done. So make sure that you give me an APA citations for this. I don't need you to do the CRAP test for this, but I do want you to use the CRAP test to show me that you found excellent sources. And then outside of that, it's just our regular template, right? Attention getter, type, common ground, credibility, thesis. I need to see the transition into your body point number 1, your main point ideas, your transition to point 2, your transition to point 3, your transition out of point 3, your restatement of thesis, your restatement of main points, and then your clincher, right? What is that idea that somehow connects with that attention getter that gets us a sense of what you want us to do and how you want us to take action on this idea in the future? All right, so that's what I got. What questions do you have about this comp plan? Remember, I need to see everything submitted and everything addressed in all of these areas. All right, hopefully that's clear. And if it's not clear, please email me. I'm more than willing to make a chat with you so you very, very much understand what I'm trying to see from you in order to do this well.